They don't tell you this about the Philippines. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about how beautiful the Philippines is and how beautiful the women are. While some parts of the Philippines are very beautiful, as are some of the women, this is not the full story. In today's video, we look at things you should know about the Philippines if you are thinking of living there. When you Google the Philippines, many of the articles and pictures are about sandy white beaches, palm trees and smiling people. There are pictures of deep blue skies and oceans and unspoilt islands and mountains that look something out of a childhood Robinson Crusoe fantasy. Let's now look at 7 things you will learn about the Philippines when you go there, that you may not like and perhaps wished you had found out about before you jumped on the plane. 1. Not all the beaches are white sand and unspoiled. The Philippines has volcanic soil, so a lot of the beaches have greyish coloured sand, not white sand as shown in the travel brochures. The few white beaches you do find are likely to be crowded, either with tourists or boats. For Filipinos, the beaches are all about seafood. Beaches outside the tourist areas are not used for recreation, but for docking fishing boats and cleaning fish, nets and boats. Habagat winds blow the rubbish around from island to island and beach to beach. One day you may be on a gorgeous white beach, but the next day it could be covered with natural waste like seagrass, driftwood, floating coconuts and other debris, together with lots of plastic. 2. The issue of rubbish in the Philippines. The manufacturers in the Philippines offer everything in plastic in one portion sizes. Tiny plastic bags with one portion of shampoo, toothpaste, coffee, cream or sugar. You name it and it is available in one portion size bag. Plastic bowls and sweet papers are regularly thrown out of jeepneys. People will throw rubbish off the ferries, out of cars and public transport. Rubbish is everywhere. In the jungle, in the rivers, along the roadside and on the beaches. There seems to be little awareness of the effects all this pollution has on the environment. 3. Not all Filipinos are fluent in English, and not all government announcements are in English. There is a belief among Westerners that English is spoken and understood by everyone in the Philippines. Many Filipinos are too shy to speak English, or may not understand your accent. Not all schools teach in English outside the major cities, and government announcements are increasingly in the local dialects of Tagalog and Bisaya. 4. Filipinos smile, but are they always happy? Filipinos smile a lot, even when they are not happy, and there are a lot of unhappy Filipinos. They are more accepting of bad behaviour in relationships without confronting each other or searching for a different approach. Even when their house floods during the rainy season, they still smile. They say, "Bahala na," which means whatever happens is just part of everyday life. However, body language and lack of eye contact may indicate that something is wrong even when they are smiling. 6. Poverty and inequality in the Philippines. There is now a fast-growing gap between rich and poor in the Philippines. The people in charge are the ones with the money, and they have the authority, and the poor are obliged to comply with their request, whether they agree or not. Many poor people will address you as boss, which is a polite way of saying that you're in charge and they are to obey. So for the poor, smiling is the best way to get through the day politely. It does, however, not mean they are happy. In Europe and America, you see great pictures of life in Manila City or Makati. You may have seen advertisements for fancy looking subdivisions with new houses that you can rent or own. But the majority of Filipinos still live in nipa or plywood houses without any running water inside their house. They may have communal facilities in the barangay, but you also see people washing below a pipe coming from a well or river. Some barangays have communal water transportation set up where filled jerry cans are delivered to people's houses. In some areas there is no electricity yet, and you will see people cooking on an open fire. There is homelessness and begging in the Philippines, which you can see in the major towns. You may be shocked to find so many people in dirty rags by the side of the road, or sleeping under cardboard boxes and begging for food. 7. The rising cost of living in the Philippines. Prices are rising, taxes are rising, and although living here is still a lot cheaper than in most parts of Europe and America, it is not as cheap anymore as it was, say 5 years ago. House prices are rising, food prices are going up, and petrol prices have increased, so public transport will become more expensive, and so will electricity. However, on the positive side, the Philippines also has a lot to offer, and you will get used to a lot of the things if you can adjust and ignore certain things. Conclusion. Like anywhere on the planet, if you can live in the best places with the best facilities, none of the above may worry you. However, if you are moving there on a budget, the above may be helpful to let you know what to expect. Before you go, I would love to hear your views and about your own experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe.